Last week, we told you the story of an American pilot who sacrificed his life to help the Chinese military fight against the Japanese aggression in Shanghai. Today, let's take a look at how the public reacted to his death and how his sacrifice affected the war effort in China.
My sister and I grew up in Seattle.
Jacqueline Robert Durgan first came to Shanghai in 1984. Her uncle was Robert Short, and she came with her father, Edmund Short, to look for the gravesite of her long-lost uncle. Unfortunately, they were unable to find the site. However, 30 years later, Durgan was back in China again, but this time, the 78-year-old was visiting the neighboring city of Suzhou to attend an exhibition dedicated entirely to Robert Short. Finally, she was able to find record of her uncle, celebrated as a hero in China.
I'm overwhelmed by it. It's a very different cultural experience here than I would find in the United States, and I just find it overwhelming.
April 24th, 1932. It was a rainy day in Shanghai. It was also a day of mourning for hundreds of thousands of Chinese who turned out to witness the state funeral of the American pilot who gave his life to defend their country. The funeral procession started off from the War Memorial Church on downtown Xizang Road and ended at Hongqiao Airport, dozens of kilometers away. There were 45 vehicles carrying wreaths, followed by another 300 cars. At least 100,000 people joined the procession. Some newspapers said the number could have even reached 500,000. This is War Memorial Church, where Short's funeral procession began. Before the state funeral, the Commander-in-Chief of Chinese 19th Army, Jiang Guangnai, and Commander Cai Ting-kai had sent a letter to Short's mother. It said no parents could have a more heroic son than Robert, who sacrificed his life so that many others might live.
Short dared, might, and died to defend right for humanity and civilization. To say that he was fighting for China alone would be belittling his gallant and humanitarian deed, because it is for humanity and justice that he died. The name of Robert Short will live long in the scroll of honor of great men, and his meritorious service will ever be in the memory of all Chinese.
Robert Short has been remembered in China in many ways long after his funeral. His brave story was included in textbooks for a period of time. Zhou Zhiyi has been doing research on Short for over 30 years. He says many have come to him to tell everything they know about the hero from America.
In October 1985, I received a letter from a 60-year-old man surnamed Shen from Hunan province, saying there was a story about Short in his textbook in primary school. And after a long time of research and investigation, I found that a textbook was published in 1934. Lesson 22 was titled in Chinese as Brave Short.
Zhang Jingyue was a former researcher of the city's audio and video archives and has worked for years on researching foreign heroes in Shanghai battles. Zhang says although the Western public was angry about what the Japanese had done to the Chinese people, the feelings were distant due to the geographic distance of the tragedy.
But when Short was killed, they realized that one of their compatriots died for justice in China. That really narrowed the mental distance between the Western public and China. Short's story in China had also been widely reported in newspapers. All of these factors served as a strong push for the Allies to give more help to China.
That strikes a chord with an American scholar who has also been studying Short's life for years.
I think it might have slowly brought in more Americans either as volunteers or eventually the United States realized that they had to start taking part in some of these things. So instead of being neutral.
Both John and Corbin admit that Short's sacrifice hadn't resulted in any immediate military assistance from the U.S. government during the Shanghai battles. However, they both believe that Short's story could be viewed as a key stimulus of the U.S. military's involvement in the fight against the Japanese military that started from 1941, known as the Pacific War. Last September, China's Ministry of Civil Affairs released a list of 300 heroes and heroines who sacrificed their lives for China's war of resistance against Japanese aggression. Robert Short was the first American pilot to do so. He died at the age of 28.